back again, and we got a surprise for you today because we found enough time to have our boss on the show, and he's a wonderful guy, and you're going to feel the same way about him that we all do when we get done talking to him. And this is Mike Briggs. Mike.
I'm excited. I'm on Carole's show, the art show.
Wow. Barrel show. Oh, wow. I didn't know it had a show.
The hour show. Actually, it belongs to the artists and authors. So.
That's for sure. That's for sure. And we've had some wonderful artists and authors, both at tremendous.
And where are they? That's what we want to know. We got this great way for them to promote themselves for free to come down here and be on the show.
I'd understand it because I know, boy, I was very happy to get here. And I know anybody that really cares about their career, they got a free chance to be. And now, aren't you international now?
International. People are coming on the show from all over the world, and all over the world they're watching us, too.
Oh, my God, it's so fantastic. You crazy people, actors, artists, people that want to hear their business heard about, that want to know about you. Please be free. It doesn't cost a cent to come and be in it. Doesn't cost a cent, right? To come and be on a show. That's a miracle right there.
And I forgot that, you've been our host for years and years now, but I forgot that you got started coming on our shows.
That's how I did
showing off your art and your books.
That's right. And I was on the show a couple of times, and all of a sudden somebody said, the boss wants to talk to you. And I said, what about?
You thought you were in trouble, huh?
I said, what about? And so I went over and said, well, he said, I like your voice. I'd like you to be a host. I said, sure. He didn't have to work hard.
And that's when we started this show. I forgot that you are the original host.
Yeah.
And it's been going how many years, do you know?
It's got to be at least 3.
3 years. No,
right?
I think it's longer.
Really?
I don't
Longer
know.
than that? Well, gee, we have loved being here, I'll tell you. So it's been so much fun to do this show and to have all these wonderful people come in that have a lot of wonderful talent of every kind, healing, right? People come in as if they do painting on or frosting on a table, will just come in and they'll say, I'm an artist, and you are really. Yeah. There's all sorts of artists. It doesn't have to be somebody who writes on paper or reads. It's also people that do something out that's really different and wonderful that you do yourself. Come on the show and let everybody know about it, right?
Yeah, that's right. And I know things have been kind of shut down and very slow because COVID. People are afraid to go out, and I don't think there's art hops right now.
No, there's nothing.
But this could be art hop right here. They could come on this show and show off their art, their talk about their book. You've had some great poets on lately. Richard Eilich, I think is his name?
Yes.
And he's been doing poetry and people who do nail art, tattoo art, all these kinds of things have come on the show. It's been really a great resource for Fresno, I think.
Yes, it has. We even had a muscle man come on.
That's right, a bodybuilder.
Beautiful muscle man.
That was his art. His art was building the muscles. So now people can go to our webpage. It's right on the screen. There's CentralValleyTalk.com. There's a place to sign up there, or just email us a booking at CentralValleyTalk.com, and we'll get you on the show. It's every Thursday at 11 a.m., and we have a whole bunch of shows. We have business shows. There's different shows all week long. We have artists on all of them, but this show is special because the host is an artist, an author, and a Broadway star, I always like to say. She's done it all the art. So she has good, intriguing questions. She's informed about art and the different media. I still don't understand all the media. I know about oil painting and water painting. I still don't know what acrylic is and tempera and all these other kinds of media.
Yes, there's all of them, a lot of it today. But listen, what I want to know, first of all, let's let them know a little bit about you. I mean, how did you think of putting a place like this together?
Well, I started in the arts. I was a classical guitarist, and I made my entire living doing that. And I have a master's degree in music. Ooh. And so I've always been into the arts and things like that. But I later got into politics and government. And I served on the city council for 4 years and in the state legislature for 4 years. Wow. And when I got out, I still had a voice. I still had things to say. So in 2008, I asked my kids, my son was 14, I said, build me a radio station, but I want it on the internet. And there was not a lot of that streaming and stuff then. They spent the entire summer of 2008 constructing this thing in a computer. And when they finished, it was capturing my image. It was a video. I go, you guys didn't build me a radio station. You built a television station. So that's how it started, because I wanted to be heard. Well, first couple of years, nobody was listening. So, and then we just started adding more shows and more shows and more shows. And, it developed into, I think we have 15 or 20 shows a week now.
Yes, I think you have business, you have all sorts of different shows that practically anybody in town's doing anything is going to have a station.
Yeah, we'll find a show for you. So if you're having an event you want to promote, or I've participated in a few events this year that were virtual, over the computer. We had the United Cerebral Palsy, UCP, had their annual dinner, and they promoted it here. But the dinner went and picked it up at their headquarters. It was a great dinner, and bottle of wine and everything. So we're good at promoting things, but we're doing it different now because people aren't bunching together very much. So.
Yes, that's true, and that's sort of sad. But I heard a little bit that maybe the governor might sort of, in the middle of June, let us live like human beings again.
Yeah. I think, though, maybe it's changed forever. I'm so used to wearing a mask now, and that I could not imagine somebody preparing my food in a restaurant without a mask on. I'm surprised they didn't do that long ago, make those guys wear masks. And,
well, that's true. There is a place for the mask, isn't there?
Yeah. And when I get in a group of people that are my people, then I'll take it off. But when I go into a restaurant, we wear the mask, we sit down, and then when we're all seated, then we take them off.
Yeah,
and I think that's how I'll probably do it for a long time. So
yeah, that's what we do too.
I don't know about you, but I haven't had a cold or a flu in this entire year that we've been doing this.
I haven't either.
Probably because we're masked and staying away from people.
I don't know.
Stopped all the handshaking and hugging and everything. So.
Oh, I don't want to stop the hugging. No, that's too much to ask. So anyway, I know that now that things are going real well, but I have a real wonderful thing to tell you, that this show has now become a bigger show. It is now a international show. International show. Tell them about that.
Well, we used to do like a remote interview through Skype or something before, but we didn't like to do it very much because it's kind of new technology and sometimes shaky and everything. But because of COVID, over half our guests are coming in remotely. And we bring them in either through Facebook, Video Messenger, or Zoom, or Skype. And now, because of that, we've been booking people all over the world. We had somebody in South Africa, somebody in London, somebody in Paris, I think Australia. So because of COVID, we grew like that.
Oh, my gosh.
So,
a good thing it did for us.
Something came out of it. We're all forced to face technology. All these little kids are doing school through Zoom, through the computer, and we're doing a lot of our interviews that way now, too. So, yeah, it's great, but it's helped us build the audience, too. Because people in South Africa had never heard of us, I don't think, and now they are getting more and more accustomed to us. So.
That's fabulous, and as you made me think about my teaching art. I'm having an adult in a children's class, and if you want to know about it, you can. I'll leave all the information here, and they can call or call me at home, and we're going to have it two ways. You can either wear a mask and come in and do your artwork there, or you can do it over television, with Zoom, something like that. Or we can teach you how to do it.
I was going to ask you about that. You got a brand new big house with a giant studio.
Yes.
Right in front, there's a big window, lets the light in,
That's
and
wonderful.
So you're going to take on students.
Yes.
Could be kids or adults, right?
Kids or adults, and I teach a little bit different way. Sometimes people start out with all of the details on, it's the language and all of that. I don't know. I start out doing what they can do now.
Right. What they can do right now.
What can you do right now, and what do you want to do, and how to improve it. So that's the way I'm teaching.
Yeah. Well, when I was a guitar teacher for years and years, same thing. When they came for their first lesson, I sent them out of there with a song. Even though I drilled in the basics and the language and everything that goes along with it, but I think people could lose interest. They want to. If you haven't been to paint, you want them painting.
Oh, sure, sure.
I'm surprised at the people who in their later years. My grandmother started painting about 55 years old. George W. Bush, the president, after he left presidency, he started painting. He had never painted before.
My gosh.
So it's never too late, is it?
Oh, never, no. And it's so wonderful because to see something in your mind and then get on paper and build it out with colors and things, it's a wonderful feeling. You really can't help to say, wow, I painted that,
Yeah. Now, when we were raising our kids, besides school, we had them in outside activities. Mm-hmm. Each had piano lessons, plus each had a teacher in their main instrument, saxophone, guitar, voice. Mm-hmm. Oh, and they all had voice lessons too.
Oh, wow.
But I think it's important because you can't count on the schools to teach these culture.
Not anymore.
So if a parent is watching, they ought to call Carole and get your kid in painting, in art lessons. I mean, some people get their kids in karate or soccer or baseball, which is fine too. Mm-hmm. But I always say this, what if the next painter, the Michelangelo or whatever, they're out there, but they never get a paintbrush in their hand? So find out if your kid's the next prodigy artist by getting them over to Carole and let them get some instruction and direction.
I think it's a wonderful thing. I think kids should be given a chance to grow in whatever they're really interested in. And it would be the same way with singing. Mm-hmm. I teach singing too, and that's a wonderful thing. Once you learn how to do the breathing, you just have so much fun singing. It's great.
We've talked about this a bunch of times about the arts. We always talk about people come for an interview and they come 20 minutes late or something. In the arts, you learn to be on time. It's very disciplined.
For the theater, too.
The theater, right.
If you're 5 minutes late, you're out.
You're out, right.
You're
right.
fired.
There's no sick days. There's nothing like that in the arts. If you're in the orchestra, you can't not show up with your viola or something like
That's
that.
Right.
It'd be an empty chair.
You did play a horn, not a horn, but a guitar, right?
Classical guitar, yeah. I played the trumpet in high school, all through school, and then in college I just picked up the guitar and I just took off with it. And
wow.
I made, everybody's a guitarist, right? But I made my entire living with the guitar, enough to have a family and buy a new car and buy a house, that kind of living. So.
And didn't you write some music too?
I have some published music. Yeah, there's music out there.
Oh, it's so exciting! See, so we're not only talking to other artists, we're talking to artists right here.
Probably when we go to commercial break, you'll hear some of my guitar music. So.
Oh, fantastic! Let's do that. Let's put some music on for you. You want a break right now?
No, I just want to finish asking you because I have to go to my next appointment.
Okay.
So you have art lessons and singing lessons, but tell us where people could see your books.
Oh, the books, that's hard for me to say. I think some of them are on Amazon.
Right.
I don't know. My brother knows more about it, but
well, right on our webpage, they can click and see some of your books.
We'll give you some.
But go to Amazon.com, I think, right? And type Carole Love Forbes. And the books pop up, and they're fascinating. A lot of, I call them, I forget what the word is, but they're history.
History, yes.
But there's a few made-up characters living through history, right?
Yeah, and it's the history is correct, but it's not. It doesn't interfere.
I think we called it Romaniclef in the day. So it's a true story. It's a true history.
Yeah.
So it's a great, fun way to study history.
And I found out an interesting thing that a lot of most writers don't put dialogue in. And I read the whole thing. So if anybody wants any of those the 4 books of mine, they can call and they can have all of the dialogue already written for them. They don't have to go through that. They can just get it and send it.
Yeah, nice, yeah. Anyway, so go to Amazon, go to our website, find Carole Love Forbes books, and we had you sing on the show before in the past.
Not really.
Yeah.
I was somebody else, and with some other. I didn't do a very good job.
Okay. But tell us what plays we might have seen you in.
Oh,
20,
okay,
30,
that I can
40.
do.
Well, you were in some local ones, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was in our bigger theater. I can't even say the names at the moment. My mind went blank.
Was it over here at Roger Rocca?
Roger Rocca. Yes, I did some things there. A couple of plays. One was Harvey with the rabbit and everything. So that was a really good comedy part.
Was that at Second Space?
Yeah.
Second Space.
Second Space. Yeah. I haven't done much because of the late hours. You know, I don't. Rehearsals could take you late in 1 o'clock in the morning or something. That's a little bit too much for me. But yes,
and people don't really realize that. I think that Roger Rocker's Good Company Players is a theater company over there, but they rehearse for about 8 weeks. And then the show runs for about 8 weeks. And by the way, they're starting to do some shows.
Oh, good.
Not a play yet, but just some little cabaret kind of singing and performances. So,
good.
That's opening back up a little bit. Smaller audience. So.
Yes. I was thinking if it's possible, I have DVDs of some of the shows that I did. I might have a number, find a number in there was passable. Put it on.
Yeah, that would be fun. I would love to see that. So.
Okay, well, I'll try to do that. Was there anything we wanted to say that we wanted to say? Oh, yes, I know. We're going to say, people, come on this show. If you don't, you're losing out. So,
free opportunity to
free
promote your
opportunity
art,
to publish
your
yourself.
Your book, any kind of art.
Anything. If you're not into coming and doing something, then you wasted your time being an artist because the artist can only go so far. You can create it, but it's hard for an artist to sell anything. And if you got an opportunity like this, please make use of it. Come on. Okay, this has been so much fun.
Thank you for having me, Carole.
And we'll see you next week again, right?
All right. Yep.
Okay, thank you so much. Bye-bye.